We thought Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were finally settling into their long-term engagement, but what we're about to uncover will leave you completely stunned. Boom! Out suddenly, a baby rumor becomes viral online. But this isn't just any rapper with a baby on the way. Oh no, this is a complete soap opera level disaster. Because reportedly, Jim, if you've been following Jim and Chrissy's tumultuous relationship, you already know that they've been dating since flip phones. But Jones is refusing to claim the child. We're a thing. Chrissy even went so far as to pop the question herself. But they are still not married after over 10 years. If Love and Hip Hop were an Olympic event, Chrissy would win the gold award in waiting for a ring. But now that Chrissy is supposedly pregnant and Jim is acting like a Donna Doe, the internet is in complete amazement. Are you serious, sir? You avoided marriage for more than 10 years. Years later, you're avoiding parenting as well, which makes logical. Before we get too further into this mess, let's go back a little and break it all down. This is where things become strange. Unlike other celebrities, Instagram, maternity pictures, or pregnancies, where we get the complete gentle reveal with a hand on the tummy and an emotional message like God's greatest blessing, Chrissy. She didn't say a word. There were no hazy TMZ pictures of her shopping in the baby aisle at Target, or captions implying new beginnings. But online detectives went full FBI and began piecing together. People assumed Chrissy was simply relaxing when she disappeared from social media a few months ago, but she reappeared with a slightly altered appearance. Her face was fuller, body was delivering postpartum energy, but it wasn't quite there yet, and she was wearing clothes that blatantly showed off her pregnancy belly. Then, suddenly, a close friend of Chrissy's, who was obviously forgot what Keith meant when Loki made a mistake and brought up Chrissy's new chapter as a mother. Come on! This is where Jim Jones's name becomes popular, because the first thing people wanted to know where the baby was and why Jim was acting like he wasn't the father. If your long-term partner of a lifetime had recently given birth, you would at least recognize it. When asked about the baby rumors in an interview, Jim laughed and smacked them with the typical guy. He was acting like this was a plot twist from a Netflix thriller. Excuse me, sir. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but you guys believe a lot of things on the internet. But babies don't just show up out of nowhere, either. Chrissy, there is no maybe in this equation. Had one or she didn't. And that reaction ignited the internet as everyone began to wonder why Jim was acting like this baby was an urbanite. Legend. As you are already aware, social media is useless for celebrity drama. People were focusing on Chrissy's most recent photos and comparing them to her previous ones, against the new body, and even following her whereabouts like the FBI. And guess what? The receipts began to come in. A few weeks ago, Chrissy was seen at a private event, and if you look closely, her abdomen was looking really different. According to a fan who met her in person, she saw Chrissy glowing like a new mother and heard someone close to her, who wished to remain nameless, congratulate her. Someone who enjoys spilling tea suggested that she has been acclimating to a new way of life. If this isn't shouting, "I just had a baby," then what is it? At first, some assumed that Jim might have been. You know, not every celebrity wants their business to be public. But then another possibility surfaced that made everything 10 times worse. What if Jim isn't making this claim? The baby because he doesn't believe it's his. Oh, it's true. Rumor has it that Jim may be avoiding this child because he believes Chrissy went out. And if that's the case, it would, as you are all aware, Jim and Chrissy's relationship has been rocky over the years, and she has had to struggle for a wedding, a band, a ring, and even basic commitment. Tell me why he acts like the bee doesn't exist. Could it be that Chrissy finally confessed, "I'm a doom me," and this baby is the result of that feud? After all these years of waiting, this is some Maury Poise level nonsense. So let's be honest, if Jim truly was caught off guard by this, shouldn't he be raising more awareness about it, instead of ignoring inquiries, posting cryptic Instagram stories, and pretending that nothing is going on for certain people? Believe he's ashamed because, let's face it, if your fiancé of a lifetime unexpectedly has a child, and you don't even acknowledge it, it makes you seem horrible. People may assume Jim knows the child is their own. Chrissy has every right to criticize him if he is evading responsibility because he never actually intended to become a father. But right when we thought this story couldn't get much worse, more bizarre, an unnamed industry insider revealed shocking information that completely alters the situation. They assert that Jim and Chrissy have been concealing something far more significant than a secret child. And let me tell you, what we discovered next would cause you to doubt their relationship in every way. And just when we thought things couldn't get any messier, an industry, according to this unnamed source, who has also been correct about other celebrity scandals in the past, Jim Jones and Chrissy may not have been prepared for the insider's revelation, possibly be together like that any longer. Hold on. So we're not only dealing with a daddy who is denying their existence and a mystery baby now, but there's also a chance that Jim and Chrissy have been pretending their relationship for the general public. And to be honest, it makes sense when you consider it. For years, people have been wondering why Jim never married Chrissy, even though they had the entire engagement and the whole reality TV romance. But there was no courthouse ceremony, wedding, or even oops, we did it in Vegas. And if this report is accurate, Jim and Chrissy might have been living different lives behind the scenes, which would account for Jim's outward show of ignorance regarding this child, since what if it isn't his? Oh, this has just taken a turn. Let's end this down very quickly, because if Chrissy and Jim aren't actually together in that way, then everything makes a lot more sense. Consider what would happen if Chrissy did give birth and Jim was aware of it. Since they haven't been together in that way, his response actually makes sense. He will undoubtedly avoid inquiries and dismiss it because, in his mind, he might not even believe that he is the father. And everyone is analyzing every encounter that Jim and Chrissy have had over the previous year on the internet. And guess what? There is hardly anything that it seems as like they have been leading two very different lives. Yet they are still keeping up with each other despite their lovey-dovey Instagram postings, lack of public appearances together, and lack of even a simple "Happy birthday, babe" shout out. The act just enough to keep rumors at bay. And let's face it, this isn't the first time a famous couple has remained together for the benefit of their business. But this is where things go really crazy. The same business insider revealed yet another shocking revelation that would fully explain Jim's silence, since it appears that he has been seeing someone. Otherwise, the rumor on the street is that Jim has been spending a lot of time with another woman, who has been subtly present for a while. And here's the thing. She is not a random woman. Rather, she has already been connected to Jim Jones. If you have followed Jim Jones over the years, you are aware that he has had a number of unfounded rumors. Chrissy has frequently had to publicly check ladies, quell rumors, and essentially battle for her position. But it appears that Jim isn't even attempting to conceal it this time. According to sources, he's been spending more time with this unidentified woman and less time with Chrissy, which may be the reason he's avoiding the baby situation altogether. If Jim has truly moved on, then he believes that he owes Chrissy no explanations. And you internet investigators wasted no time at all. Within hours, people were searching through old photos, reading through comments, and posting together timelines, have been attempting to identify this woman and speculate as to what they might have discovered her. One particular woman, whose identity we won't reveal just yet, has been enjoying all of Jim's. This woman has also been talking about new beginnings and has been leaving slick comments and even cryptic words that give the impression that she knows something we don't. Life changes. We're not claiming that she's the cause of Jim's recent behavior, but it seems suspicious at the moment, and Chrissy has been utterly silent. No clapbacks, no shady postings. Etsy interviews addressing the accusations, which is what's causing folks to question whether Chrissy was aware of this beforehand. Because let's face it, if she had just given birth to Jim's child, and he was out there denying, unless she doesn't want to say anything right now, which is intriguing, because some people believe Chrissy might be keeping it a secret. She would have aired him out by now. She keeps silent since she knows Jim isn't the father, and she wants to prevent the truth from being revealed. Some people believe she's waiting for the ideal opportunity to expose him completely, but regardless of the facts, one thing is certain: this whole scenario is messy, and we still don't have answers. Jim is still acting unconcerned while all of this is happening. Been posting on Instagram as if nothing was happening, displaying cheap clothes, quoting random motivational sayings, and leaving his words ambiguous. But one picture in particular made many laugh. Shared a photo with the statement, "Real men don't tolerate lies. Keep your circle tighter and your name clean." Excuse me, sir, who is lying? Whose name needs to be cleaned? Since everyone is looking at you right now, on you. If that wasn't enough, Jim went one step further and blocked the person who asked him directly in a now deleted comment if the baby was real or not. Wow, he's out here avoiding inquiries, which is a guilty move if I've ever seen one. If the baby weren't real, wouldn't he just declare that, put an end to the rumors, and keep things going, blocking people and pretending to be unaware of what's happening, which is precisely why people believe there is more to this narrative than we do, because there are ultimately only three. There is a chance that Chrissy actually did have Jim's child, and he is just being like a jerk. Chrissy had a child, but it is not Jim's, and he doesn't want to get involved because there was never a baby in the first place. This entire situation is a diversion from something else, and judging by Jim's movements, it could be any of the three. But just when we believed the drama was over, another piece of Chrissy is reportedly going to make a huge statement that might change everything. And if what we're hearing is accurate, this whole situation is about to blow up. And just when we thought things couldn't get much worse, Chrissy finally speaks up. And what she says has everyone frantically trying to understand what the hell is going on. Because Chrissy shares a mysterious message on her Instagram account, saying that the truth always comes out, rather than confirming or refuting the baby. Rumors. When it's all over, let's see who's still standing. Hold on. What truth is she referring to? Who won't be standing? And why does it sound like she's about to expose someone? At this point, the internet is going crazy, as users analyze every word of the message to determine whether she is going to reveal the identity of Jim Jones, the purported baby, or someone else. Remember that Chrissy is not the kind to just ignore things. If she is remaining silent, it is because she is waiting for the right opportunity to reveal something shocking that no one is prepared for. And you all know that the moment arrives sooner than anticipated, because within 24 hours, Chrissy does the unimaginable. She removes all of her Instagram posts, photos, memories, all traces of her and Jim, gone. And if that wasn't enough, she unfollows Jim Jones. Oh, this is occurring now, and people think Chrissy has stopped playing games because let's face it, if this was just some frequent rumors, why go to the trouble of cleaning your entire Instagram account? And why abruptly unfollow the man you've been seeing publicly for years? Unless she's ending things entirely. And if so, it indicates that Chrissy recently learned something that completely altered her life. Now, let's piece everything together. Jim has been acting strangely silent, and a mystery woman has something significant just happened behind the scenes. And we aren't aware of it. Chrissy has been slipping hints about the truth coming out and is now removing Jim from her life. Only a few hours after Chrissy deletes her Instagram, Jim Jones himself stops posting. No selfies, no flexing, and guess who else starts acting really funny online? Jim seems really irritated and says, "You guys need to stop believing everything," before abruptly going live for a few minutes without any inspirational comments. You know, people love making things up. If it's not from me, it's not real. Sir, why are you so upset about that? You also notice that he hasn't denied anything, or stated that there isn't a baby. Didn't state that Chrissy and I are alright, that the mysterious woman is merely a friend, and that he instantly ends the live stream the moment people start bombarding the comments with questions regarding the baby. That appears to be quite guilty at this point. According to the streets, one of two things occurred. Chrissy discovered that Jim had been cheating, possibly even with that unidentified woman, and she ended their relationship. In any case, this relationship appears to be over, but right when we thought the story was over, Chrissy gave birth to a child, but Jim isn't the father, and she is deleting him to start over. Another startling revelation is made because guess what? The unidentified woman that everyone thought Jim had been seeing recently just came out and said something earth-shattering. Breaking, this woman, who will go by Miss X for the time being, posts on her Instagram story that some of you are going to appear really foolish when the truth about the man's single status is out. Moving on, keep an eye out because she is now saying that Jim and Chrissy haven't even been together. If this is accurate, then Jim has been deceiving the public for a while, and Chrissy may have simply been complying to maintain appearances. And now that everything is falling apart, Chrissy is finished. This is weird since there are now several people involved, and it's not just a random hearsay, are now making it seem like Jim and Chrissy haven't been dating for a long time. If that's the case, who is the baby daddy? Why wasn't Jim just declaring, "That's not my kid"? What else is going on? Have they been concealing things from the public? Then, to make matters worse, Jim's mother enters the picture. And if you know anything about Mama Jones, you know she does. Unable to keep her mouth shut, she goes live on Instagram and begins to rant about how people are lying about her son and that certain people should shut up. Okay, ma'am, but who is lying? She's out here putting gasoline to the fire, and people are beginning to believe she's simply trying to perform damage control before the true truth comes out. It's all phony. So why not just clear it up? At this moment, the internet is in ruins. Some believe that Jim has been deceived by Chrissy and another lady, while others believe that Chrissy has been holding secrets from a select individuals. Even think that the entire situation was manufactured for attention. But suddenly, after days of gossip, conjecture, and general mayhem, Chrissy reappears, and she goes live on Instagram and makes a statement that leaves everyone stunned, saying, "You guys truly believe you know what's going on? Well, let me tell you something. That's meant for." She essentially verified that I will always be there for myself, regardless of what is said or done. I promise that you aren't prepared for the genuine story. This narrative has a whole other aspect that no one is aware of yet. And by the way she's speaking, it sounds like she's going to give you all a full expose. The saint has already taken so many bizarre detours, but it appears that we still don't have the whole truth. If Chrissy is indeed going to reveal everything, Jim Jones had better prepare himself. For if one thing we do know about Chrissy is that she doesn't hold back, and I have a feeling that this is just the beginning of the drama. But wait, we need to hear what you guys think. Was Jim Jones actually out here skulking? Or is there another turn of events that no one anticipated? And what about Chrissy? Is she going to reveal everything? Upset the entire industry by dropping your ideas in the remarks section below. As this drama is far from ended, I assure you, if you would like to remain informed about all the most outrageous celebrity scandals, be sure to such as tap that notice and subscribe. Bell, make sure you don't miss anything. See you all in the following